Stop chasing. Look, it's Marcel, aka Honey Bunny Sunny, and you know I'm on a mission to make you some money. Listen, if it's your first time tuning in, okay, welcome. Okay, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's get this video into the algorithm. All right. Now I'm trying something new today. All right, I'm trying something a little bit new today. And I'm trying to see if I'm going to work it into the content rotation. Y'all know I post videos every single day to make sure that we stay up on what's going on in the market. I got the off the chart series that kind of gives you, some insight or wisdom into how to prepare your mind before actually going in and taking trades. But I think I want to start doing a little book series, right? So there's as you all know, I've read tons of books. In trading to get to the level where I'm consistently profitable. And I think it might be beneficial to just start sharing some of the excerpts out of the best books and sharing them with you, right? So as you all know, this is a cult classic right here, right? Trading in the Zone, right? Trading in the Zone. Gotta have it. Mark Douglas. Trading in the Zone. So basically what I'm gonna start doing is, like I said, just going and trading in the zone. This is not going to be the only excerpt because there's so many gems in this. But maybe once a week I'll pull from a book and just kind of share a lesson and maybe even give a personal lesson in how it impacted my trading. All right, so let me know in the comments below if you would like to see that. If y'all think that'd be beneficial, definitely drop that in the comments below. All right, so today's excerpt is actually on chapter 20. I'm sorry, it's on page 27, right? And it's in chapter 2. And the subtitle is The Unwillingness to Create Rules, right? So he says, I have not yet encountered a person interested in trading who didn't resist the notion of creating a set of rules. The resistance isn't always overt. Quite the contrary. It's usually very subtle. We agree on the one hand that rules make sense, but we really have no intention of doing whatever is being suggested. This resistance can be intense, and it has a logical source. Most of the structure in our minds was given to us as a result of our social upbringing and based on choices made by other people. In other words, it was instilled in our minds, but did not originate in our minds. This is a very important distinction. In the process of instilling structure, many of our natural impulses to move, express, and learn about the nature of our existence through our own direct experience were denied. Many of these denied impulses were never reconciled and still exist inside of us as frustration, anger, disappointment, guilt, or even hatred. The accumulation of these negative feelings acts as force inside our mental environment, causing us to resist anything that denies us the freedom to do and be whatever we want. Man, this is heavy. Okay, specifically that last two sentences, right? A lot of us have been brought up basically like feeling like discipline essentially is what he's saying, or rules are negative, right? And the reason that we don't like discipline and rules is because usually it wasn't us that was choosing it, right? It was somebody else that was choosing it. Right? It was our parents. It was our guardian. It was our teachers. It was our, chaperones. It was our big brother, sister, whoever it was always somebody standing over us being like, look, you can't do that. You can't do that. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. So a lot of people look at discipline as like, why would I'm grown. Why would I want to go back and revisit a time where I felt like my freedom was being stripped from me? Now, the reality is that yes, your freedom was being stripped from you, but it has actually created this like paradoxical situation where something that is good for us, we now have a terrible relationship with because of how we were introduced to it. Now, freedom is actually found in discipline, but the discipline is something that you have to choose, right? And in this particular game, this skill set, this industry, the only way to freedom is to have discipline. right? But you have to choose that, right? I know that the word is so ugly. I know that we don't like it, but we need order. We need rules. We need discipline, because that is the only thing that is going to increase the likelihood that we profit. This game is too complex. It's too sophisticated. It's too many unknowns for you to be walking in it without a set of rules. I don't care how good you think you are at it. The moment that you stop following your rules is when you start to lose. When you go on them streaks, right? It's because you initiated the streak by not following your rules, and then you broke your rules even further by trying to get yourself out of that hole by what? Continuing to break your rules. All right? It's important that you guys get this going into the new year. We got a fresh new year, fresh P&L. Put yourself there for a second, right? The beginning of January, put yourself there. Your P&L is at 0%, right? No mistakes that you made matter anymore. It's only about what you're going to do going forward. All right. Now, if you can come up with a set of rules for yourself and stick to that all year long, this will be your biggest year. I promise you that. I promise you that. We'll be right there in the Prosperity Collective to coach you right along the way. But you got to have them rules. If it's a take profit amount that you are, that you want to stick to for the first quarter, stick to it. Even if we stay in longer, even if your peers in the Prosperity Collective stay in longer, stick to your rules. Run your race. And I'm telling you, you will see. Because you're the one that got to deal with that P&L. You're the one that got to deal with those taxes if you make money. You're the one that got to deal with the losses if you lose money. Right? So it's going to feel so much better when any result comes if you know that you did what you were supposed to do. All right. So again, get some discipline about yourself. If you haven't read this book, check it out. It's a cult classic, right? Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas. Again, if y'all mess with this, like this kind of, this style of teaching, just sharing an excerpt from, a book that I've read over the years, again, let me know in the comments and we'll keep this going. All right. Remember, invest smart, live free. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.